Hello everyone, my name is Rob, welcome to Kinetic Rugby League. In this video I'm going to be giving you my round 2 predictions of the Rugby League World Cup. Let's get started. So before I go into my round 2 predictions, I'm just going to recap round 1. I was quite happy with how it turned out. I'm not going to be, as I said, I'm not going to be tracking the specific scores, how many of those I get right. I'm just going to be tracking the winning teams. Now, the 8 that I chose were Samoa, Australia, Scotland, Ireland, New Zealand, France, Tonga, and Cook Islands. 6 of those I was correct with. Samoa and Scotland were the ones I was wrong about. Vastly undersold Italy, I think, and obviously massively undersold England and maybe overplayed Samoa a little bit. Glad to have got the Wales and Cook Islands game correct. It was definitely a fantastic game. But some of the upcoming predictions I have will be influenced a little bit by these results and how teams played, and also a little bit about how I feel teams should be doing this week. So let's get started on round 2. So starting with the first game, we have Australia versus Scotland. Now, I mentioned in my Scotland versus Italy video that I don't think Scotland were necessarily bad. I thought they put in a solid performance, did well with field position, just didn't execute exactly how, they'd probably hoped. But all round it was solid. However, coming up against Australia, who looked a little bit rusty at times, have now got a game under their belts, have Nathan Cleary coming back into the team. Jack Whiten is starting at centre. I believe Matt Burton's starting at centre as well. So they will have got the rust out of the way possibly. And with Nathan Cleary coming back into the team, I think they're going to be a lot more dangerous. And yeah, I'm going to go with a huge blowout in this game of Australia 74, Scotland 0. Now on to the second game, which is Fiji versus Italy. I thought Italy were quality in round 1. I thought they were really professional, really well structured, played with a lot of pace. Fiji, it was difficult to really see that given they were playing against such a strong team in Australia, but I think playing against Italy, they'll have more time to kind of do what they want to do, focus on their game plan a little bit more. I think they're going to be stronger overall in this game. I don't think it's going to be a ridiculous scoreline, but I've got a strong feeling that Italy is going to maybe overachieve a little bit here. Not pull out the win, but overachieve. And I think the score is going to be Fiji 34, Italy 24. Next up is England versus France. Now, I don't think anybody expected the scoreline for England versus Samoa. Some people would have had them to win, but definitely not by that margin. I think England's going to continue with being able to put quite a few points on the board. I think they may let in a few more this time round. With a much more clinical performance from France now that will hopefully get their kind of somewhat shaky performance out the way against Greece. They'll definitely let in more tries, so I'm going to go with England 50, France 14. On to the next game, which is New Zealand versus Jamaica. Now, I was really proud of the effort that the Jamaicans put in round 1. We're not really going to see much else from the first round, unless they are able to pick up more field position, are able to put together some structured, attacking plays, spreading the ball. I am very much doubting that they'll put any points on the board. New Zealand, a little bit like Australia, were fine. A little bit rusty, but they've now got some game time under their belts. Not sure if Jerome Hughes is playing or not. If he is, I'm going to be more confident in the prediction that I'm going to give you. But even if he's not, they're still capable of this. But this is my biggest one, which is New Zealand 80, Jamaica 0. Now we have Lebanon versus Ireland. I think this could probably be the game of the round. And there could definitely be calls for this being the game of the tournament. I think these two teams are quite evenly matched. I think the fact that Lebanon will be missing Adam Dewey is a big miss for their spine. So that the gap for me has increased a little bit on my prediction. But Ireland looked really, really solid. Again, don't want to keep saying the same things, but every team has looked a little bit rusty in one way or another. And I think if Ireland starts smoothing out those performances, they'll be so much more clinical than they were. They could have put 60 against Jamaica had they converted another 6 of their tries, which they missed. It could, for me, this could be a blowout. I can see that it could happen, but for me, these are just evenly matched enough, and Lebanon have enough NRL quality to withstand what Ireland are able to put together. So I think it's going to be Lebanon 18, Ireland 28. Next, we have Samoa versus Greece. Samoa's performance in round 1 was just awful. I think everybody expected so much better. Everybody expected a much more clinical, a very creative, a very dominant performance. It just wasn't happening. However, I feel that they're most likely going to learn their lesson from last week. They're coming up against a much easier opponent. Yes, it's a team with a lot of passion and determination in Greece, but I think a lot of individual quality is going to carry them through this game, and they will have learned a lot of lessons from last week. Greece had 2 really nice tries in their game. I think overall quality throughout the game is going to be the main, issue. They definitely have players that looked lively last week, but I'm going to go with Samoa 48, Greece 8. Next up, we have Tonga versus Wales. I was quite pleased with Tonga's performance. They were missing a couple players like Junior Amon, Ben Murdoch-Masila, and Jason Taumalolo. So if any of those players come back in, they'll look a little bit stronger. The forwards were as you'd expect. Kula had a great game. If he's playing again, I expect him to be even more dangerous against a team like Wales. Wales put in a really strong shift against Cook Islands and were unfortunate maybe not to get the win in that game. Maybe if things had gone differently, they play the game a few more times and they maybe win it a couple times. But I think this is going to be one of those games where Wales are unfortunately outclassed in every department. And I'm going to go with Tonga 54, Wales 6. The final game of round 2 is Papua New Guinea versus Cook Islands. Very pleased with Papua New Guinea's performance. I was also fairly happy with Cook Islands' performance against Wales as well. I think given that Papua New Guinea was so strong against Tonga and Cook Islands were a little bit stronger against Wales, this could be much more of a blowout than I'm going to go with. I'm going to make it, I don't even know if I could say somewhat respectable on this scoreline, but I'm going to go with a solid Papua New Guinea 40, Cook Islands 12. So here you have my round 2 predictions. The 8 teams I have winning are Australia, Fiji, England, New Zealand, Ireland, Samoa, Tonga, and Papua New Guinea. There's maybe 2 games I could see going the other way. I think the most likely would be Lebanon beating Ireland instead, and maybe an upset of Italy versus Fiji. I'm quite confident with all of these. I'm confident I can get 8 out of 8 this week, but no results are locked in before a game starts. So we'll see how it goes. If I can go 12 out of 16, I'll certainly be happy with that. But yeah, a few blowouts there. And I may get humbled by Scotland and Jamaica. I find it very unlikely, but you never know. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have any predictions on round 2, leave them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new content. You can also follow the social media accounts in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.